Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Chill Conversations with your girl Brenna B. And of course, we've got Dominique in the building. How's everyone doing on this fine Sunday?
Hey, 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 everyone.
So, I posted in the group that I wanted to talk about taxes. A lot of us are talking about taxes. We're seeing ads for taxes. You can get your taxes done for this amount. We can give you a large refund. We can float you a loan until you get your taxes back and all of that. And it just got me thinking, like, why do we get so excited about tax time? Do we really understand what the nature is of paying our taxes is? So I wanted to pose that question. And for as long as I've been working and for as long as I can remember, every year I've had to file a tax return. And I really didn't know why. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people who get excited about tax time because they pay into the system. So basically, it's like they're getting their money back. And yeah, tax time be like one of those times where you can have a very big check if you pay into the system.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you let them take out taxes from your check,
Yep.
which is, you get your refund at the
Right.
end of the year. And I know during this time, a lot of people like to, ball out.
Ball out, get that new purse, get that new car, book that trip, that vacation, do a little shopping, get a full on hair install or some beauty treatments, whatever the
So
case
bad
may
I
be.
can't do that. Some of us don't pay nothing into it, so we don't
Well,
get much
and
back. So it doesn't.
that's the point that I really wanted to make. I wanted everybody to really understand what they're doing. And so that when you look at it the way that I'm about to explain it to you, maybe you'll change your mind and you'll ease up off paying all those taxes all throughout the year. So, just to give you a little bit of history, tax filing as we know it today, it originated in the U.S. Revenue Act of 1861. This was introduced, the first income tax, to fund the Civil War. But this was short lived and it was repealed in 1872. The modern tax filing system began with the 16th Amendment that was ratified in 1913, which gave Congress the power to levy income taxes without apportioning them to states. That same year, the Revenue Act of 1913 established the first peacetime income tax requiring individuals to file annual tax returns. So, the origination of tax filing and why you had to file a tax return was to help fund the Civil War. The government needed money to fund this war that we were putting up. So then the government was also in a bind. And by 1913, they decided, hey, we need some money too. We need some revenue. So they wanted to extend it back, beyond tax tariffs on groceries and items and things that you buy and collect it from individuals that were working. So they said that it was supposed to, promote economic fairness, that income tax was seen as a way to make wealthier individuals contribute more to public expenses. But we all know that that's not true because it seems like the more money you make, the more tax breaks that you get and the less tax that you have to pay. And those that are in lower to middle class um, brackets for tax returns don't find ourselves being eligible for a lot of those tax breaks and all of that. So over time, the system had evolved with payroll withholding that began in 1943, and then electronic filing. The first time that you were able to electronically file your taxes was in 1986. So every year, US tax day is typically April 15th. And this year, 2025, the tax filing deadline is expected to be Tuesday, April 15th. So If you file your taxes or if you need to get an extension, your new extension date is October 15th of this year. And if you're one of those people that's self-employed or you pay taxes quarterly, you must pay them on April 15th for quarter one, June 15th for quarter two, September 15th for quarter three, and January 15th for quarter four. So people receive large tax refunds because they have overpaid their taxes throughout the year. Okay? You're overpaying your taxes, which is the reason why you get that big check when you file your taxes. So basically, you've given the government an interest-free loan all throughout the year, and they're just giving you your well-earned money back when you could have had it in your pocket this whole damn time.
Right. That's what I was just about to say because it equals out. I mean, I know there's credits and stuff that you can get during income tax season,
Mm-hmm.
but even if you were not paying anything into your federal taxes and stuff like that, if you have, you know, kids,
Yep.
at the end of the year, that still helps you pay it back. So yeah, well, Trump did say he might get rid of taxes. I see him getting rid of taxes and overtime hours, tips, I believe. Is it overtime or is tips?
It's tips. I'm not
Not
sure. It's
overtime.
not overtime, but it's tips for
Sorry,
sure.
y'all. It's not overtime, but it's tips for sure. And I mean, I think he's just trying to eliminate it all the way. I always wondered why we pay taxes to the government, and also, not that it's bad to do that, I'm just saying, like, I never understood everything is taxed. We pay to the government. When we go buy food, we have to pay taxes on that.
Right.
When we buy clothes, we have to pay taxes on that. When we buy a car, we have to pay taxes on that. When we buy a house, we have to pay taxes on that.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's just taxes over taxes over taxes. Like, you know, I never understood that.
I never understood it either until I started doing some digging and doing a little bit of research that we like to do. And I was like, well, why do we do this? Why is this necessary? Why do we have to pay this? And then you hear stories about so many different celebrities and wealthy individuals getting in trouble and getting tax liens and even being put in jail for not paying their taxes. And I feel like, okay. I mean, why do we have to take it that far? But apparently, it's been written into law, and the government feels that they're entitled to earn money from individuals that are working to help sustain the government. But in my opinion, I would have to say that the money that they're collecting from individuals that are working clearly isn't enough to sustain the government and all of its operations if they keep talking every 3 days about a government shutdown, shutting down the
But
government.
why are we sustaining the government
Exactly.
if they're on a payroll as well?
Right.
Um, it just doesn't add up to me, as well as, like, I'm sorry, I'm just one of those that rather keep my money in my pocket
Mm-hmm.
than um I pay federal taxes as well. I'm not gonna say I haven't. I have, but it's better for me to keep my check in my pocket and then just pay at the end of the year what I owe.
I figure out basically what my tax liability is going to be for the year based on what kind of income I'm going to be making and what kind of deductions am I going to have. Will I qualify for the earned income credit? No, not this year. Will I qualify for the child tax credit? That I'm not sure. Last year it was kind of iffy whether or not I qualified for it, and I think I got part of it, but I didn't get all of it. You also get credits for health care expenses. You get credits on the interest that you pay for your house. You get interest, I mean, you get credits on interest you pay on, onto other things. So I try to figure that part out. So I do have federal withholding come out of my paycheck every pay period, but at the end of the year, when it's time to reconcile my taxes and for me to put in all of my offsets and my deductions, it typically results in me getting a teeny tiny refund. I'm not talking about no $12,000 check refund, maybe like 2 or 3 grand, maybe if I'm lucky. And that's only because I have those additional expenses that I can write off and that will reduce my taxable liability. But before, having, $500 and $600 come out of my paycheck for federal tax every paycheck, and then me getting this big refund check, to me just made no sense. And then reading about the fact that you're basically giving the government an interest-free loan, I was like, well, why am I doing that? They're not giving me an interest-free loan. Every loan I've ever had, I've had to pay interest on. So why would that be any different for me and the government? But there are a lot of people out here that will promote very large tax refunds if you let them do your taxes. And I don't know how much I trust that. I don't know how much of what they do is legal or illegal. I'm not in the tax filing business. I don't run my own tax company, but perhaps they're more well versed in the legalities of tax filing and can find different loopholes that you can fall into that would make you eligible to be able to get more money back. But I just think that it's not something that you should be holding out for, once a year to get this money back all at one time. You should be able to have it in your pocket, in your checking account, in your checkbook to do whatever you need to do throughout the year instead of waiting until April time frame or May by the time the tax income gets released to your bank account or you get your check.
And I can truly say I don't miss it. I don't miss it. Like, I just don't. Some people be like, y'all gonna learn, y'all gonna learn. Um, no, actually, I like it better like this, where I can just pay it back because
Yeah,
throughout the year, it's like it's such a stretch trying to buy food, trying to get your bills together and stuff like that, that you need that extra cash in your pocket.
you do.
You
You
know, and I
absolutely
even
do.
asked somebody the other day, I said, would you rather for taxes to go away completely? Like, do you agree with, I think that's what he's heading to,
Mm-hmm.
is do away with taxes. But that person told me, he was like, hey, I'd rather keep my money in my pocket
Yep.
every month, like every check,
Yep.
versus, getting it taken out and getting an income tax check.
Yeah.
Basically, you're just getting your money back.
You're just getting your own money back. Like I
Right.
said, it's an interest-free loan that you're giving to the government. So I'd rather have my money to do as I please, to
Up
pay the
front,
bills that
yeah.
I need to pay, up front, as opposed to waiting till that one time of the year. Because that one time of the year, I don't know what it is about the excitement that it brings out in people, but people get so excited talking about, oh, now I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna get these shoes and I'm gonna get this bag and I'm gonna this and I'm gonna that. And I'm like,
Girl, income
you
tax season, it causes a chaos, anxiety, panic attacks, and all together. Like, people really be expecting that money, and it just, I could say some people save it and just like, I know somebody who's actually saving their income tax money every year, and what she ended up doing was putting a down payment to her home. I thought that was like great idea,
Yeah,
you know.
that's
And then
smart.
I just and other people just spend it and they have to wait until next year again. And they be like, well, I'm gonna do this when next year comes. I was one of those people, okay?
Right.
When next year during income tax season, I'm gonna be able to do this, that, and the other. That was in my younger days. And then as I got older, I was like, you know what? It's just not worth it.
Yeah,
If
that's how
you're
I
not doing what you need to be doing with it, it'll just fly. Look, them little 10,000, $9,000 will go away so quick. It's really, you could spend that in a month.
exactly. You absolutely can. And unless you're someone that is, very diligent, like your friend was, being able to save that tax return money
Yeah.
every year and then put it towards the down payment of the house, I think that's something that's very smart. So if you're committed enough to that process to be able to handle your money that way and you're good at budgeting and good at saving, then I think certainly that's a great thing to do. But don't be taking advantage of all these pop-up sales that show up on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and try to buy all this stuff just because you got your tax refund check. They know it's coming. They know when it's coming and they know when to get you and they're going to get you to
Okay.
spend all your money. So that 9,000, $10,000 check that you had, now you got about $900 left. What you going to do with that?
No more balling for me. I
No
left that
more
a long, long
borrowing.
time ago, y'all. I had
Yep.
to focus on paying my debts back, and just trying to clear some stuff up. That's it. That's my
Hmm.
focus right now because I'm in a different age bracket.
Yep.
Sorry.
You definitely learned, you definitely learned through experience, and as I've learned through experience and having worked in payroll and doing payroll and things like that, I know how to figure stuff out and how to calculate stuff. I have the tax table, I can put it in an Excel spreadsheet and figure it out. What are your taxable wages minus your pre-tax deductions and all that, and tell you how much is going to be taken out and adjust your federal tax withholding accordingly. So if I could come out not having to pay anything, if I can come out, maybe just getting a little bit back, I'm fine. But if I'm getting more than like $2,000 back, then I'm not withholding enough throughout the year. And I also want to say that those that do owe, there's definitely not any problem, and there's nothing wrong with you setting up, a repayment plan to pay back the amount of money that you owe. So don't freak out about that. If you get your taxes done and it turns out that you owe $2,100, don't worry about it. They'll take your payment plan because it was your money in the first place. It's your money to begin with. You're just paying back, an amount that was underpaid according to them. But according to me and how I see it, y'all are still taking my money.
Exactly.
But that is it. That is all I wanted to share with you guys today. Just a little reminder as tax day is coming up on Tuesday, April 15th. Don't be running to the tax man asking about how many, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 deductions and exemptions you can claim to get yourself some $12,000 because you got some stuff that you're trying to do. Just file your taxes. Get the right withholding coming out of your paycheck, every paycheck. And if it's too much coming out of your check, then change your W-4 so that you have
Exempt.
the right amount coming out. Yes, or mark exempt and handle it at the end of the year. So that's it. That's all for me. All I gotta say, Dominique, you have any closing comments?
Just a couple of tips. Get somebody you trust as a tax expert.
Yes.
We all be trying to go to the person. Well, that's how it used to be for me, but I know for me, it was like I was trying to get to someone who would give me the most refund back,
Right, right.
without, really doing my homework on what are they doing. So, that caused a lot of paying back for me throughout the years. So just get someone you trust. I went to one company now. I'm with one company and I've been letting them do my taxes now for years and I have not changed.
That's really, really
Um,
good. That's really, really good.
and just ask questions. What credits and deductions are you eligible for? What are the new tax laws? Because I don't be reading that stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't unless I see it somewhere and they have the big bold letters on it, then I'm paying attention.
There you go.
But and then filing early because some people scared to file early sometimes, but that avoid a lot of scams too.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you can literally have your stuff done at the end of the year. Like your last
mhm.
paycheck of 2024 is going to have all the information that you're going to need on your W-2, you know? So if you have all that and have a tax professional that knows what they're doing, they can use all the information from your last paycheck of the year to go ahead and get your taxes filed and for you to go ahead and get that situated and resolved.
And
So,
not only if you have like children, but if you have like child dependent care under
yes.
13, like
Yep.
that child care really helps.
Yep.
Really helps.
Yep.
So I can recommend one of those credits because that definitely helps me out at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Um, you also have the education credits, the earned income credit.
Mhm.
Um, all of those things that you can ask about and see if it will make your filing a little bit stronger. And I know some people be like, what do I owe? Because everybody gets a little nervous when they tell you, oh, you need to go to the hotline to see if you owe
Right, right,
anything. And he'd be like, but I went there and they didn't say anything. Well, trust me, just press two, okay? Because the
right.
one button it's not gonna tell you. So make sure you press two. Yeah,
Press 2, everybody.
I had to do that.
Press 2, everybody.
Um, and that's just a hotline to know and be aware if your anything is going to be garnished from your income tax, so you can
Yep.
be aware. It tells you how much, it tells you from who. um so I'm so glad it's just like, to me now, like paying off your debts just like little by little, it's just lifting weight off my
It
back, and
is,
I
it
like that.
is, and it's so freeing to know that you don't have that lingering over you and hanging over you. You know what I'm saying? It's very, 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 very freeing. So, as you step into the next phase of your life and you start making real adult decisions and handling things the proper way and the right way, you'll find that life flows a lot easier and you will definitely feel a lot lighter when you're not carrying around all that debt. So
Absolutely.
so take care of it and take care of them taxes on April 15th. And if you can't do it by the 15th, then you got until October to extend it.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good rest of your night.
Have a good day.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye, guys.